Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menasce. On today's show, we're talking about getting trapped in the wrong orbit. Now, I realize when I use the word wrong, it sounds like I'm making something right and something else wrong. What it really means is getting trapped in an orbit that's different from what you might have intended. This type of thing happens all the time in all kinds of industries. It stems from having an imprecise set of goals. That lack of clarity can lead to a trap. Some people discover that they like helping people and decide to go into the field of medicine. But medical school can be difficult and expensive, so they end up going into nursing instead. The rewards might be similar, but those careers are vastly different. It's a different orbit, even though it's similarly connected. The world of real estate investing is similarly vast. Some are attracted to investing because of the promise of what real estate can do. For some, it's not the love of the real estate per se. Some go into it for the money. They get lured by some fast-talking sales guy who promises them wealth beyond their wildest dreams. You don't have any money? No problem. Just wholesale a bunch of houses. You can make a few $1,000s in a weekend and hundreds of thousands just flipping contracts. And once you have a system, you'll be wealthy in just a few months from now. They'll show you pictures of others who have similarly achieved the kind of wealth that you aspire to have. The low-cost 3-day workshop holds the keys to the kingdom. They come out of that 3-day workshop with a big bill on their Visa card and a commitment to print a bunch of yellow business cards that say, "We buy houses." The sad thing is that most successful real estate investors do in fact buy tens of millions in real estate every year, but rarely do they ever have a business card that says, "We buy houses." See, if I see that card, it tells me one thing. It tells me that you're broke, you've just been to a 3-day seminar, and you have no clue what you're doing. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but that's what the We Buy Houses brand stands for in my view. I know that's not what they intended to be, but that's the underlying narrative. Once you get into that ecosystem, you're going to continue to be bombarded with the infomercial-style advertising that's designed to manipulate you into signing up for their next level of coaching program. I've discovered that environment is the single most critical factor when it comes to achieving your goals. See, who you hang out with is who you become. If you hang out with the most sophisticated developers and financiers in the world, that's who you will eventually have the chance of becoming. If you hang out with manipulative salespeople, well, that's who you're going to become. And if you hang out with dinglings, I'm sad to say you're a dingling in the making. There's another way of saying pay attention to your orbit. If you're flipping houses but aspire to build condo towers, you're in the wrong orbit. If you aspire to own industrial warehouses but instead you're wholesaling single-family home contracts, you're in the wrong orbit. The sad truth is that this industry has a lack of meaningful education. Many of those focused on education are not active practitioners of their craft. And this same problem exists in formal education throughout the world. Teachers who have only studied the theory often don't know the true obstacles. They don't know how to practice the business in a practical sense. You can't learn how to swim by reading a textbook by the side of the pool. You've got to get in the water. And if the person teaching you isn't a world-class swimmer themselves, you're getting too much theory and not enough practical advice. You might not be able to bring that caliber of skills directly into your business at the very beginning, but you still need access to those skills and experience. Maybe participating in a mastermind with high-caliber people could be a pathway. I've been blessed to be part of several masterminds over the years, including leading some myself. One of my mastermind co-hosts has been a frequent guest on this show. He's Mr. George Ross. At 92 years of age, he's been the real estate legal counsel for some of the best-known real estate developers in New York City. He's been in business for over 60 years, and he's seen it all. I rarely undertake a project without asking George's advice. The people I'm hanging out with are not selling a $99 program or a 3-day workshop for $197. People I'm hanging out with are contributing to the education of others not because that they're getting rich from coaching fees. On the contrary, they do it because they want to help bring others along. I personally love the creative process of building new communities. That's why I'm in this business. And it doesn't matter whether the project's an assisted living project or an apartment complex or a restaurant. I love that creative process. I aspire to bringing that creativity to creating some of the most sought-after residences in the world. Who I hang out with are other developers who built thousands of units of new construction. Their orbit is similar to my orbit, and that's no accident. As you think about that, pay very close attention to which orbit you're entering. Have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.